While Wall Street sleeps on AI infrastructure, BigBear.AI is quietly positioning itself as the brain behind next-gen defense, logistics, and decision-making systems, and it's been trading at under $5 a share. So the real question is, especially with today, will you see that move before the market does? I imagine that if we take a look at BigBear.AI, we can see that it's sold off just a little bit, about 2% today. And when we're looking at Big Bear, there are a few things to consider. Recently, we just had some news come out that was expected for April 2nd that we have some tariffs that are affecting the economy. Now, you can see that after hours today, a good portion of the markets dipped slightly. It wasn't anything that was huge because I believe there was some pricing in. People were already anticipating more tariffs, and tariffs now are something that are implemented. At midnight tonight, we'll see about a 10% hike on all countries except for Mexico and Canada, which they are delaying and do not have a full decision there. And then China, I believe, is about 20%, so they're going to see even more of a hike than other countries. So when you take a look at what that means, it means investor sentiment maybe dipping a little bit, seeing potential price increases, costs increasing. But what industries stand to still grow? What markets might find profits even in these dire times of looking at the tariffs being implemented? Well, some of the markets are in defense, logistics, or AI. And this company, BigBear.AI, is right there in the same market as Palantir. In fact, they are partnered with Palantir. Here's what we have going. This is, I believe we had some drawings here. Let's see what we had. So it sold off a little bit. It did dip down, and it dipped to this previous support here over the past week or so. So let's take this out. Let's take these drawings out, and let's do a restructure on what's going on. There's three things we look at. The markets, which in this case looks like it's growing tremendously. The analysis, which we will go into, the technicals, the fundamentals, as well as the financials. And then number three is the profit potential. What could we see here for BigBear.AI? What does it look like in the near term? Well, take a look here. The previous resistance at around $2.85, pretty strong. You could even see that it goes back there. So you got that resistance, kind of a support there as well. Support here, and then support here again. And that's where it is right now. So again, this support here is key. If we're seeing total bearish momentum, which it is struggling to push up above this 200-day moving average, we've noticed that. See that 200-day moving average? It oftentimes will be above it. If it's bearish, or if it's bullish, it will be above. Right now it is below. So here's what we're looking at. The resistance levels are right here. You got this previous support or consolidation, previous resistance and resistance, and really I could just move that up a little bit there, right there. And you can see this consolidation from left to right. This is something that you got to watch closely, because what it could be is a retest of this support and that we still see it make this move. On the other hand, if we see a break below this $2.80 range, we're immediately going to have to ask ourselves, is this a good trade? Because now we start to see levels that we haven't seen since really towards late 2024 here that would indicate some serious bearish pressure. In fact, at that point, we start to ask ourselves what the downtrend looks like. And that's when you start to bring in some of these trends, and you start to look like that, and you start to say, oh my gosh, it's not looking good. So this is why it's so important. We'll be watching it in our live session tomorrow morning at Market Open to see if we trade it. If you want to watch me trade live, it's that second link below. And this is the move that I would like to see. If we get some more confirmation that it is in fact validating this support once again, and we start to see it maybe swing up into this range of $3.50 to $3.70, that's about a 25% increase, which is what we'll be watching for. Now, no confirmation yet, as we could see it's starting to sell off. And if it breaks below the support, yeah, we don't really have any good green days in sight that we could point to in the near term. But right now, if we see it validate, that would look good. So that's how the technicals look. Again, RSI MACD a little bit on the hold side, which makes sense as it's just consolidating on the support. But again, we'll have to see if it can recover there upwards. We'll be watching it closely tomorrow. So when it comes to BBAIs, two things we look at in addition to the technicals. We look at these financials, and then we're also going to take a look at Big Bear AI news. So you could drop in there on the website as well. The website is good because they give you a full breakdown of their partnerships with the Pentagon, partnerships with the Department of Defense, as well as their cyber solutions. I start to see something in that of Palantir. We don't talk about it a lot, but you see this image here? They put these data points on the image. I don't think that that's just a random, hey, make something look cool. You see these little parts of the harbor that are getting highlighted green. That's because AI, computer vision, is looking at the whole picture, and it is identifying certain things that happen, patterns that happen, and then building this data set to then be able to have decision ready infrastructure that can make a decision very quickly. Let me give you an example. Now, this is more of a practical example, but imagine that you have a software like this, and this is on a harbor. Whenever a harbor or a ship comes in, what if it's measuring the speed? What if it's measuring the what time of day it's coming in and out? So when it comes in, when it leaves, the time of day that it comes, how many come at certain times of day. Also, what do the things look like that wouldn't be just radar, but that would be visual appearances? For example, are there any new dents? Are there any new things that are damaging the different boats? And then you have the people on it. How many people are on it? Do they have any more people or less people at different times of day? There's a million different data points. This is why we covered quantum computing companies as well, because it kind of helps these companies be able to run those types of programs without using so much computing power or GPU usage. And so those are the types of things that this company can do. We just went through Denver International Airport. If you guys are familiar, they scan your face, and they have a partnership there with a lot of other airports as well, including Heathrow. And then just recently, outside of government and defense, they got the Army contracts, Navy contracts. This was just recently this month. They got another Department of Defense contract. It's a 3.5 year, $13 million contract. I would imagine they're going to see more as the year progresses because it's not slowing down. They got their new CEO that is right there with the Department of Defense. He used to work in Homeland Security and Border Patrol. So that is an easy avenue for any, if they're looking to get cash, they're looking to get contracts. Their CEO used to work right there hand in hand with these other these companies that are the type of companies and agencies in the government that they would partner with. So they already have an advantage there to potentially get cash easier through contracts. And then again, let's take a look at the financials. So market cap just under $1 billion. We do start to see it grow. At one point it surged above $1 billion. And if you look at the financials, what you're looking at here is something interesting. Early 2021, they had a pretty low net income. They recently paid off nearly all their debts. They paid off a lot of debt. Net income here negative 11 million. Saw their revenue as 39 million. Look at the year over year or the quarter over quarter. See the increases in net income and revenue. That's a good sign. That means they're an AI company that is growing. And they recently have a pretty big net income negative there. That's because they're paying off a lot of their debt. You can see other net and cash went down a lot more. So this is something that I want to also kind of reiterate. Like if you take a look at a company like NVIDIA, you would be surprised to see that while AI is growing and they have this big market cap, okay, look at quarter over quarter here. Look at quarter over quarter, and look, so their revenue is going up big time, right? But look at the net profit margins. See how the net profit margins are staying kind of just steady? We're not seeing a big increase in net profit margins. The revenue is going up, but net profit margins staying about the same. So not to say they're capped out. Nvidia is going to grow tremendously. I mean, in the future they will, but that's what happens when you're the biggest player. When you're there, like maybe your profit margins go down. You gotta maybe compete a little bit. Not to say Nvidia is not going to be a powerhouse in the AI boom. They already are. But when you have a smaller AI company here like BigBear.AI, they're making leaps and bounds in their revenue, which could be reflected in their share price as well. So you got to keep that in mind. Now, I love to look at Big Bear AI because it's so consistent oftentimes in how their pattern behaves. But the thing that we have to consider as well is that if it breaks the support, it's not looking too good. So we want to make sure. I think if you're aggressive, this is a buy. If you're more conservative, you're looking for a break up into this $3 range somewhere in here before potentially buying and trying to swing it. I wouldn't try any extremely high frequency trading on it. The long term holders are happy. I know I got some shares at $2.80 back here in November, and I've been holding ever since. And yeah, I'm up just a little bit, but I'll tell you that there's a lot less stress in holding the long term in something like this. Now, if you guys want to learn fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and get to watch me trade live in our market open sessions each day, it's the second link in the description. We got a huge sale there for the Q2 that's going away. You will no longer be able to get lifetime access to those sessions. But for now, well, you may be able to, but it'll be a much more premium price. In fact, the lifetime access now that you could pay once, not a subscription or anything like that, to join StockMate, surround yourself with other traders and investors, and watch me trade live each morning, that is going to be a much higher lifetime access price. And the current lifetime access price is going to be the yearly price. So again, if you don't want a subscription or anything like that, I would encourage you guys to simply take a look. It's that second link in the description to watch me trade live. Thank you guys again for watching. I appreciate you all. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Comment your thoughts below on Big Bear. We're going to be looking for a swing from 280 up to this 370 mark in the near term, and then potentially seeing these levels on the longer term. But I want to know what you guys think. So again, comment below and do consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.